Now let's stick with that story in China, where authorities are scrambling to prevent a toxic cloud from forming in Tianjin after last week's massive chemical blasts there. The explosions took place at a warehouse which was illegally storing hundreds of tons of sodium cyanide. Jeffrey Crothall is a spokesman from the China Labour Bulletin, an organisation that promotes the rights of workers in China. He joins us now from Hong Kong. Thanks very much for your time tonight. Firstly, let's look at these efforts to clear the chemicals before a toxic gas cloud forms. It's a dangerous job. Are you convinced this can be done safely?
Well, not very optimistic, I have to say. If you look at the way that the initial fire was handled, they'd sent inexperienced firefighters in to deal with a blaze that they didn't even know the cause of. And I think so you have to be very worried about the ability of the authorities to effectively clear up the rest of the damage. But let's hope they've learned a few lessons and can make a better effort of it.
Serious questions are now being asked about the safe storage of these toxic chemicals. As we've heard, they are thought to have been stored illegally on these premises. Was this an accident waiting to happen?
Well, clearly it was an accident waiting to happen because there's very little enforcement of workplace safety legislation in China. Businesses can pretty much get away with anything that they choose to if they know the right people in government. And the fact that we've seen, unfortunately, this kind of accident many times before. Just this year, we've recorded at least 26 significant explosions, and nothing of this scale, but just last year, 146 people were killed in a factory explosion in eastern China. And the year before that, more than 100 were killed in a factory fire in the northeast of the country. So clearly, this kind of thing happens time and time again. And unfortunately, no one seems to learn any lessons from it.
As you say, this seems to be quite a regular occurrence, and as well as those industrial blasts, we've seen many accidents in coal mines across the country as well. Now, given the fact that this seems to be happening quite regularly, you're not seeing any improvement at all? Are authorities even trying to address the problem from your monitoring?
If you look at coal mining, that is one area where there has been improvement. 10 years ago, you were looking at 5,000, 6,000 miners dying each year. And last year, that figure was reduced to just under 1,000. So there is some improvement there, but that is largely due to the consolidation of the mining industry and a lower production of coal rather than any fundamental change in the way people think about safety. Safety in the workplace in China is still a very low priority against economic development or the pursuit of profit.
Do you believe that this incident in Tianjin will be the wake-up call that finally gets authorities to act on workplace safety?
We can only hope so, but I'm not terribly optimistic. As I said, what normally happens in these situations is that an investigation will be launched, a few scapegoats will be found, officials, company owners will be punished, and then nothing really will change, and the same thing will happen a year or two later down the line.
We've also heard reports of hundreds of social media accounts being shut down for spreading so-called rumours. Are you seeing any crackdown or censorship in the aftermath of the blast?
Well, the authorities always try to control the media output in the wake of these disasters. They try to ensure that the only voice heard is that of the official Communist Party mouthpieces. But there are so many people on social media these days that it's just impossible to control. And everybody has a smartphone. Everybody can let everyone else know exactly what they're thinking. So certainly, the authorities are trying really hard to control the agenda, to delete rumour-mongering accounts, but they simply can't control everything.
OK, Jeffrey Crothall, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you for your insights tonight.